Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dee-totally, totally, totally, da. Dee-totally, dee-totally, totally, totally, da. Introducing this poster that the guy at GameStop gave me for free, even though I didn't pre-order this.
Introducing the game we are not talking about today.
Huh? Nope. Oh my god. Oh my god, it started calling a girl that I haven't talked to since high school. Elena, if you're watching this or listening to it, I'm sorry I butt dialed you or wrist dialed you. Hopefully you don't still have my number anymore. But yeah, this is what I've been up to specifically today as of recording. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has been released, and I figured because there's also a bunch of SpongeBob stuff happening right now, I thought I'd do a little crossover, a little mix-up.
Did you try the Wendy's one yet?
I did.
Was it mid as fuck?
Yeah.
Was the Frosty fucking amazing?
Here's the thing about my Frosty. The puree settled entirely to the bottom. So when I got the puree, it was really good. Really good. And the Frosty it's a Frosty, so it's really, you know what to expect.
Dude, yeah, the Frosty was so goddamn good.
The Frosty they should keep year round.
Man, that thing was incredible. And then, yeah, the rest was just the fucking Wendy's burger.
I will say, though, I don't know if you took off the bun to actually look at the burger, because I wanted to see what was so... I got with everything on it. I don't know how to describe the placement of all of the ingredients other than very cartoony, because the lettuce is just a single leaf of lettuce, as opposed to, I don't know what they normally use in their burgers, but like they only use 2 little onions and they place them right next to each other. They had the lettuce, which was just a single leaf of the greenest lettuce I've ever seen. The tomato I didn't get a good look at, but the pickles, there were like 3 just like placed strategically on the bottom of the bun. So it looked like they tried to make it look like a Krabby Patty, but you wouldn't fucking know that if you looked at the bag or the packaging, because there's no SpongeBob iconography anywhere.
Yeah. Like, they just fucked it up, man.
They fucked
it's
it
like,
up.
Obviously, you don't know what a Krabby Patty is supposed to taste like, so all it boils down to is how it looks. And they couldn't even be fucked to give you a sesame seed bun. They couldn't even do that.
Well, and also, as I'm putting the rubber band back on this poster, also, bear in mind, these poor Wendy's employees, I don't know if you've seen any of the memes on TikTok or Instagram,
yeah,
but it's
just SpongeBob coats out the ass.
People pulling up to the drive-thru window playing I'm a Goofy Goober. People walking into Wendy's saying, "Rev up those fryers." This shit is toxic, bro. This shit is a fucking poison. There's a video I saw of a guy doing a dramatic reenactment of walking in as a manager and everyone's freaking out and it keeps cutting to some guy screaming. And he's like, "What's going on? Why is everyone freaking out?" And then the voiceover is like, "You didn't hear the new collaboration?" And he's like, "Yeah, but like nobody fucking wants a Cardi B meal." And he's like, "It's not Cardi B, it's SpongeBob." And then his eyes slowly shift and he's like, "We're down 4 cooks and you're the only manager for 12 hours." And then it just keeps cutting to like footage of them getting like people playing shit in the drive-thru in their ears and like pulling up and being like, "You know what I'm here for," and then doing in the SpongeBob quotes. It must be an actual living hell for Wendy's employees.
Yeah.
Especially considering that like half the time they're just teenagers. Like they didn't sign up for this shit. It's like in the 40s we sent teenagers to war. In 2024 we're sending them to be to employees at Wendy's.
Yeah, because these kids, they don't even know what the hell like people are quoting probably.
No, this is very much. I don't know who this is catering to, but we do still have to go to one of the independent restaurants doing the SpongeBob thing, because that shit looks good, and there are plenty of places that are using sesame seed buns.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
It's like the most basic thing.
There is one restaurant. So I don't know if any of you have heard of this, but there's a company, I guess, or a business called Off the Menu, and they team up with local kitchens to basically, I don't know if you'd call them ghost kitchens, but they're giving them, Nickelodeon and Paramount are giving these restaurants liberty to do whatever they want with the SpongeBob, visual inspiration and all of the Bikini Bottom stuff. And they're making their own menu items. So some places are doing ice cream in the shape of Krabby Patties. Some places are doing burgers that are, lettuce, tomato, bun, pickles. Some places are doing their own spin. Like there's one place in Chicago that's doing, it's like seaweed inspired like garnish. It's like jardinera peppers, but like they're like dyed blue or something. I don't know, man. Shit looks good. And so Wendy's, keep the Frosty, keep doing purees because that shit's really good. But you can do more with the burger. I think you can do a little bit more. Have any of you tried the Krabby Patty collaboration burger at Wendy's? Smash that like button and comment below if you're on YouTube. If you're on Spotify or Google Podcasts, go fuck yourself. And welcome to episode 48 of the Too Bad We Didn't Get to Cars podcast. My name is Nick Scarpinato.
Oh shit, David Kabushikars. And this way in the background over here, because we have
see it
really nowhere to put it right now. It's a 1962 Volkswagen Beetle. It's a Policia.
Or Police.
Police car.
I think it's Italian.
Italian for
Transformer.
The popo. Or that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't speak Italian.
I don't either. Because my name's Scarpinato, not something Italian like Scarpinato. So I only know shit about cars. And not Italy.
Hey.
But this is the start of our 3-episode countdown. We are 3 episodes away from the end of this series as we know it. We've been doing this podcast for a couple years. 3 years, I think. I think the first one was in 2021.
Something like that.
We were just babes. We were using a single camera, and it was my phone. And it looked like shit.
Yeah.
And lots happened since we started the podcast, but what hasn't changed is we don't know jack shit. We don't know jack shit about cars. So don't ask us anything on the street. So many of you on the streets, you'll come up to us and you'll be like, Nick Scarpinato, tell me about this. What was the highest selling car in 1973? And I'm like,
the red one.
I don't fucking know. And everyone's like, They go crazy. They go crazy for that shit.
True.
Also, stop assaulting David. He's been on the receiving end of too many violent acts. So if y'all can stop trying to threaten him, we've gotten too many lawsuits of unintentional murder because he keeps murdering people.
True.
Yeah.
That. Fucking assholes. What are we talking about today?
For
the first time ever, we are not talking about movies or music because we're done.
We're done.
We're done with that.
Well, I think we can talk about movies and music, but we don't have to talk about our favorites anymore. I
like this one.
Did you catch that? Did you just catch any of that? I think movies are easy. We see movies all the time. We go and see new movies in theaters all the time. We see old movies.
Yo, Wild Robot was mid as fuck, bro.
Okay.
It was so average.
Guys, we have thoughts on robot movies that have come out in the last month or two. Those robot movies being The Wild Robot and Transformers 1. So I think we should talk about The Wild Robot first because I think we have less to say about it.
It was extremely overrated, and it's all about parenting, and we're not parents, so fuck you.
Here's the thing. I appreciate what the movie was trying to go for. I appreciate the message it was sending, but more than anything, I appreciate the animation. I think this movie looked beautiful. I think all of the designs for the robots were done really well. There are multiple robots, despite what the title will tell you. Spoilers, I guess. The The voice acting is pretty good. I liked that the main robot, Roz, her voice changed over the course of the movie to... Obviously, she starts out very robotic, and then by the end of the movie, is very human. She learns what it means to be alive, which is a very neat concept in practice, or on paper.
Terminator 2.
It's the movie that we just talked about.
30 years ago. Get fucked.
But there are a couple of sequences in here that genuinely got me a little emotional, but from an animation visual perspective. I like there's a forest fire towards the end of the movie, and the fire they made magenta, like this purple. And I saw one reviewer, Karsten Runquist, shout out Karsten, describe it as having a very what?
I was just like, yeah, whatever.
He doesn't know me.
Who's Karsten?
Yeah, I
get him on the Cars podcast.
Get him on the fucking Cars podcast. He's taking over actually after we're done, after we drop out. But yeah, no, I agree with a lot of movie opinions that he has, but I remember walking out of this one, I was so ready to witness the greatest animated movie of our time. People were comparing it to The Iron Giant. People were comparing it to Ghibli movies. I saw people say that this is already easily the best animated feature, like at the Oscars. It's deserving of that award.
My fat cheeks, bro.
And I don't know, man. Just from a story perspective, it feels very disconnected from itself. There are a couple of time skips. No one ever talks about that. But the main crux of the film is this robot lands on Earth, assuming they don't talk about it, but after an apocalyptic event where humans have had to leave the planet. You see the Golden Gate Bridge submerged underwater at a certain point. You see imagery of buildings that are very like The Last of Us-ified. They have vegetation growing out of them. And this robot crashes on Earth and needs to fulfill tasks because that's what her programming dictates. Kills a bunch of birds in a nest while running away from a bear and finds one lone egg and starts to raise it. And the first 30 minutes of the movie where she's discovering the planet and all of these things are trying to kill her, and there's a big emphasis on death and what it means to the meaning that it gives life, that life has an end, so that's why it's very precious. Best part of the movie. And I loved the baby duck design. The duck's name is Brightbill. And yeah, it's just a very fun time. I thought that was going to be the whole movie, and the duck was going to stay a baby. The gosling was going to stay a baby the whole time. But no. Then there's a time skip, and there's a...
Fucking Ryan had to grow up.
Yeah. Ryan? Oh. I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Shit.
And I'm upset that the gosling grew up, because then it turns into like a story of... It's like a coming-of-age story for the gosling, and it becomes less about the actual robot, and it becomes more about the gosling and his journey. And then it cuts back to Roz, and during winter, there's a scene where she has to find a bunch of animals that are hibernating, and then she goes to sleep, I'm assuming, until spring. So there's another time skip where, like, I don't know. And it's just so hard to connect with the movie for me because it jumps around so much, and it's like, man, I understand the learning to fly metaphor, and you can't do that as a baby gosling. But I don't know, man. Those are my thoughts. The animation is stellar. Apparently, this is the last all in-house.
And I'm looking for the sky. Sorry, this movie's boring, so I'm thinking of other things to think about.
No. Also, it reminded me how much I hate insert songs.
Dude, that fucking montage of when he was like first a teenager, and it was whatever bullshit song that was.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Yeah, it's really bad. If you are a movie, listen, if you're an animation studio like DreamWorks, I don't know how much money you have in your budget or how much money you earn by making a deal with an artist to include their song in a movie. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. rarely ever does a film come out that isn't from the 80s where all insert songs were pretty good. Let's face it.
Yeah, it's like you have a composer. Use them.
Yeah.
Use them.
I guarantee anything the composer puts together is going to be more beautiful. And I think Ghibli films just spoiled us. Dude, Joe Hisaishi,
Yeah.
one of the best film composers of all time. Did we talk about how we saw him live this summer?
No, I don't think so. Because that was the thing. It's like people were saying, yeah, it's Ghibli inspired. But
Yeah.
no, the fuck it wasn't.
No.
It was like so on your nose.
Yeah. Yeah, every metaphor, there was nothing really left up to the imagination in this movie. And I had more questions by the end of it than answers. Like, what do the animals do when Roz is... Like, the movie so heavily emphasizes that, like, life is precious because in the wild, animals have to eat each other to survive. That's just how it goes. And then by the middle of the movie, in one single scene, it somehow flips to, actually, we can coexist. And nobody has to eat each other.
Yeah, they're all friends now. We will eat grass.
They all live in the same house that Roz built. And it's just like, it feels very conflicted at times. I think the only Ghibli inspiration was Roz's design. She looks a lot like the robots from Castle in the Sky, which I like. Again, the character design, the animation, the backgrounds, the water. I know Donkey jokes about water looking really realistic as a good sign of a good game. But whenever I see realistic water in an animated movie, it's like, shit, man, that's awesome. How do you do that? But obviously, it's going to be different for everyone. So I say go watch The Wild Robot, but not before going to see Transformers 1.
Jesus Christ, so much for fucking not talking about movies.
Yeah.
Transformers 1 was fucking awesome.
It was... I don't think...
Really
it was
good.
Out of the two robot movies, it was the one that I did not expect to make me cry or get emotional or tear up or feel suspense.
Like, I never touched Transformers anything.
Yeah.
Like, no games, movies, nothing. I've never touched anything. So, this is the first thing I ever witnessed, and it was really good. I really liked Megatron.
Yeah.
He was such a... Because the whole thing reminded me of, like a video game. Mm-hmm. Like, the way they start out as bitch-ass, like mining robots.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, they're, the two main characters. Like, they keep leveling up.
Yeah.
And I really liked Megatron. Like, he shows up specifically when they're in the above ground and they run into that tribe.
Yeah.
Where that dude is like,
whatever, Starscream?
Yeah, whatever I say goes. And he's like, I'm gonna fuck you up. And then he does. And I was just like, this is incredible. Any chance he gets to where he just like shows up and he's like, no, I'm gonna do it my way. And he just beats the shit out of everyone else.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah, Megatron is, as much as I love Optimus Prime, dude, I think Optimus Prime, I am a kid that touched Transformers content. I've got the touch. That's a Transformers reference.
I got the magic touch.
Yeah, not that. That's not the touch I'm referring to. But no, I watched Transformers Armada growing up. I played War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron. I played Transformers Devastation, which is probably one of my favorite hack and slash games of all time. And when I saw the trailer for this movie, I heard a lot of people criticize the marketing for this thing. And the fact that it only just recently broke even, I guess, is evidence that that's true. And, they haven't really been marketing this movie very well. But apparently there are a bunch of people who think the first trailer is very misleading, that it advertises itself as strictly a children's film. It's got a lot of funny jokes in it, and it's very lighthearted. And there are moments of that. But watching Megatron rip a still breathing robot in half over his head was not on my bingo card for things I'd see in movies in 2024. This shit is brutal. And the last half hour of this movie, I cannot begin to describe how insane the ramp up to the last act of this movie feels. There's a moment where D16 and Orion Pax both simultaneously evolve into their final forms, for lack of a better phrase. And when the disembodied voice shouts "Arise!" and then very quietly like says Optimus Prime, and his eyes open up and he just fucking Buzz Lightyear shoots out of the ground. That shit got me so hyped. I did not expect to feel this intensely about an animated Transformers movie in 2024. But this is the same guy that directed Toy Story 4. He obviously has a knack for storytelling and visual storytelling. There are some parts where the animation looks like it is like a straight to TV Nickelodeon movie, but then you get to as soon as they get above ground, as soon as they get to the surface of Cybertron, the movie starts to turn around a little bit. Yeah, and I was very nervous walking out of this thing with you because as someone who's never been a Transformers guy, I was like, I don't know what the fuck he thought about that. So it's kind of a relief that we're both into it because, yeah, man, it's the first movie that I've seen this year in a really long time that I've been thinking about weeks after seeing it for the first time. It's really fucking good.
Damn good.
And there's a guy on Twitter named TF Hype, Transformers Hype, who has almost been single-handedly promoting this movie. And his tweets are getting, like, interactions up the wazoo. People sharing his tweets, being like, listen, guys, we got to go tell your friends, go see this movie. To a point where there was a press junket with the director who acknowledged this guy on Twitter. And he was like, yeah, there's someone who's just, like, fighting for this movie, which is crazy. So yeah, man, what did you think about the voice actors? Because it's an animated movie, and even if you've never touched a Transformers thing in your life, you know what Optimus Prime's voice sounds like.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that, while he keeps getting stronger, like his voice will change with him.
Yeah. I mean, both of their voices, I feel like, changed.
Well, right, but I mean, like, specifically for like the Optimus Prime voice.
Yeah.
Whoever it is.
Yeah. Well, in this movie, it's Chris Hemsworth.
Right, but like,
then in
like the OG Prime voice,
Peter Cullen.
Yeah, that guy. I just like to imagine, like while he keeps getting powers, like his voice keeps changing. You know?
Well, so there's an interview with Peter Cullen. I don't know. I think he was at a convention, and he was doing this panel, and he was talking about the inspiration for the voice because he's been voicing Optimus Prime since the original cartoon in the 80s, and as he's gotten older, obviously the voice has carried more leadership and all that. But apparently, going into the audition, he called his brother really, really nervously, looking for advice because he was really nervous about booking this role and getting it right. And his brother, I think, was a firefighter or a firefighter captain, something like that. And his advice to Peter was a leader has to be strong enough to be gentle. You have to be strong enough to be gentle. And it's like that's some of the chillest, coolest fucking advice I've ever heard. Because when you listen to an Optimus Prime speech, it makes you feel like you can do damn near anything, dude. Like, and there's a scene where Optimus in this movie has to give a speech to all of his fellow minor bots, and it's I wouldn't call it a subtle detail, but when he speaks to them, he gets on their level. He takes a knee, and it feels very much like football coach talking to his team. And then from Megatron's perspective, all of his angles are shot from below. So he's always viewed as this, domineering figure, whereas Optimus is like, of the people. And their final fight, it's pretty good, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess that was one thing that, wasn't super great. I just feel like they turn on each other really quickly. And granted, it's a short movie, so you gotta kind of get it moving. But I don't know. It just felt like we're best friends in the world, and now all of a sudden I hate you. Like specifically when he got like the red eyes, that's when Megatron became a dick,
Yeah.
and I don't like him anymore.
Yeah, Megatron, he by the way, Brian Tyree Henry, fantastic job as Megatron. I'll see people post the clip of him announcing, when he screams like, "I am Megatron." Gives me chills. And then the scene when they first discover who the traitor is, and he's talking about, Orion is like, but you want to you want to beat him, right? And he's like, no, I want to kill him. And then the room goes silent. It's like, ooh, oh. Eddie has this whole speech where he's like, I want to fucking put him in chains and put him in the ground, and he's going to die alone in the dark. And it's just, you could feel this passion. Cause like,
I felt a lot of myself in Megatron.
Jesus. You all right?
Well, that's how it be.
Yeah, being a part of the working class sometimes feels like that, But yeah, dude, it's just a really good fucking movie. It's not just a good Transformers movie. It's not just a good animated movie. It's a great film. It's a really good, and if you overlook it because you think it's going to be this whimsical kids movie, granted, that's why Bumblebee is there. I feel like Bumblebee is there for like the kids comic relief. But yeah, man, everyone should go see it, and hopefully we get a sequel because they have plans for a trilogy. And if it all takes place on Cybertron and it's all the movies that people have been asking for years, less people, more robots, then we need to go support this movie. Yeah, man, giant robots shooting lasers at each other. What's not to like about that?
Good stuff.
Well, now we got to talk about music. I mean, I guess we don't have to talk about music, but
your games, god damn it.
Yeah. Well, because here's the thing, and here's how we're gonna split up the next couple of episodes. Both of us have 5. This system that we forced ourselves into. For whatever reason, we each have 5 more games on our top games list. I think it was just because there were too many games that we wanted to include. So we just bumped it from 10 to 15.
Honestly, yeah.
3 episodes each, 2 games per episode. We're each doing 2. So I guess if we're going to get through this shit, we got to get through this shit. If there's any music thing that pops up, we'll talk about it in the intro. But we had to talk about SpongeBob. Had to talk about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Check out the new Origami Angel album. It's pretty good.
Yeah, dude. Maybe check out new Origami Angel. They fucking ripped ass all over, and they stink. They stink, brother. We're going to see them in November, so we'll definitely talk about. And December, we're going to Pennsylvania, DC. Driving to Washington, DC.
I'm going to DC, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's gonna be a good time.
That should be the last episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
Look out for the finale of the podcast. It's going to be us getting into a car and driving in that car for like 20 hours.
Yeah, we're going to live stream it.
That's our only 20-hour episode, baby. All right, fuckers. Are you ready to talk about some video games?
I don't play video games no more. Tired no video games.
Rip in peace, Tenacious D.
But Zelda Breath of the Wild, that is not a game. It's an incredible journey through American history.
Well, not American.
Fighting for your princess and fighting for your kingdom.
Yep.
Whatever.
Whatever. We should be the new Tenacious D.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Hell yeah.
So let's start with our number 5. We're gonna zigzag, ping pong, and luckily, the 2 of my games are both games that we played. So we're gonna talk very briefly. Because we have like 25 minutes if we're trying to get through these. So buckle in, folks. We're doing a fucking speed round. My number 5 game of all time is a new edition, Breath of the Wild, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I feel like I had to include this game because my criteria, we've never really talked about it, but my criteria for games is a combination of nostalgia, obviously more in the bottom half are all my nostalgia picks. Time spent, playing. That's the only reason why Smite is on this list at all, is because I spent hundreds of hours playing that game. And also, like, general, I feel like if it has a place in history and a lot of people agree, I'm like, you know what? I feel good putting it up there. And Breath of the Wild is one of those cases where I was never really nostalgic for it, and I was never really a Zelda kid, but I know this guy is. And when you played Persona 5, I played Breath of the Wild. That was our deal. And I spent a shit ton of time playing Breath of the Wild, and dare I say I enjoyed my time in that game. Everyone typically does. It is a game that's going to go down in history the next couple of decades. Do you know how many Breath of the Wild clones there are?
Yep.
Just open world.
Actually, all I know is Genshin Impact.
Which is a big one.
I don't know any other ones.
It's a big one. It's become sort of the staple for open world games now. Whereas GTA kind of filled that spot for a really long time. Now if you have an open world game, it's going to look a lot like Zelda. You're crafting weapons, armor, you have breakable items, you're climbing shit. There's always a glider. There's always a way to like glide from place to place. And that shit started with Zelda. And it's crazy to believe this game is almost 10 years old.
Yeah, 2017. Which, yeah, that's actually crazy.
Yeah, this game is 7 years old right now.
Like, I didn't get it on release because it was impossible to get the Switch on release.
Yeah.
I got it like in the fall, and it came in a bundle. This is the first fucking Zelda game I ever played. Like, I never touched the series, and it just happened to be in the bundle I got, and I played it like, okay, this might be cool, and it fucking changed my life. Yeah. Like, you can't see anything on either of these cameras, but this room is littered with Zelda shit.
Oh my god, you're right.
Like, I can't fucking see the table, but I got the fucking statues. I got the Deku Tree. I got the fucking posters right there. I got another 2 figures over there. I got fucking amiibos over there.
Yeah. And no spoilers, but this is in David's top 5. So we will be talking about this game later. I just wanted to throw in my thoughts because...
And the fact that it's number 5 does validate me quite a bit.
Yeah. It's a great game. It is a fantastic game, and it is one that I think everyone should play. You talked about Purple Rain. I always think about this. You talked about Purple Rain when I suggested you listen to it, and you're like, yeah, it's just an album that you should listen to.
Yeah. Like,
you're going to either like it or not like it, but it's just, like, required reading. And if you like video games, you got to play Breath of the Wild. Simple. That's it, dude. You're either going to like it or you're not going to like it, but if you do like it, just know this set the standard. It's the best at what it does. And what it does is blow your fucking balls off with options and choices. And that said, if you're looking for a really strong narrative, or if you're looking for a really strong, I don't know, man, like, if you're looking for very impactful, like, voice acting, I don't know, if you're like someone who enjoys single player games that are very narrative driven and very cutscene heavy and quick time event heavy, you're not going to find that here. The voice acting, I was surprised there was voice acting at all, but it's cool. I think there's novelty to the fact that there is voice acting, and the characters are interesting for what little we actually get to hear about them, unless you talk to everybody in every village, in which case like you get the entire encyclopedia article about them. But yeah, Link doesn't talk. That might be a turnoff for some people who like really chatty protagonists.
Well, he never did. Well,
yeah.
Well, excuse me.
Unless you count the CDI. So, and these are just nitpicks too. These are just, I guarantee, even if you're the type of person that likes the Uncharted games and prefers games like God of War, that have a very straight linear path and very strong performances, this game is gonna change your mind, or at least it's gonna be what Origami Angel is in your case, and it's just like, it's gonna be a thing in a genre that otherwise you don't care for, but it just does its shit so well, that you're gonna be into it. You're gonna excuse those nitpicks. So anyway, we'll talk more about Legend of Zelda in a later episode, next episode actually. But until then, you gotta talk about your number 5, baby.
All right, yeah. Speaking about amount of fucking time putting into something, Gears of War 3. Holy shnikes. Like, this came out fall of 2011, which made us juniors.
Yeah.
So we were still in high school. And first of all, the fact that they delayed it, like, after the whole summer, that crushed me. Like, I was so upset because it's supposed to come out in, like, March of 2011, but they delayed it to, like, September or something in the fall. And that sucked because I was planning to play that game all summer. Yeah. But instead, I played it all fall and winter and spring and summer and fall again and probably winter again and maybe one more spring.
So you made up for it.
So... yeah, I probably play this for like 1,000 hours or something. I have shitloads of medals, and that's what I really liked about it. Versus the other Gears games was just like the sense of completion that it had. Horde was fun. Beast was fun. Mm-hmm. The campaign was great. Rip the homie Dom. Please don't fuck up E-Day. We fucking beat the campaign on Insane. It was like I think it's the first game I ever completed like on the highest difficulty. So that was pretty cool.
What's her name? Anya is a playable character now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All of the retro weapons go crazy hard. All the new... Because with the Gears games, very similar to Halo, whenever a new game comes out, you're always looking forward to what are the new weapons, what are the new maps that show up, and... what are the cool new outfits that we get? And in this game, it's all of the summer outfits, I think, because none of them have sleeves. When does this game take place? I barely remember anything about the story in Gears of War 3. Other than the lambents, or the...
I think probably a couple years after 2.
Yeah. Because in 1 and 2, they're in their full, like, uniforms. And I think... 1 takes place during the fall, and then I thought 2 takes place in the winter right after that.
Because there was a winter level, but I don't exactly remember when it takes place.
I guess that doesn't really matter as much.
Probably not too far after 2.
The important thing about this game is that it at the time it was like the end of the trilogy, you know, and it was a really great end to the story of Marcus Phoenix up until that point.
And it was the first game to have all 4-player co-op. Because the first 2 were, it was just single or double. Yeah. And this one, it was like 4. Yeah. So you can get a bunch of your buddies, which we did, and just like go ham on it. You can play all a campaign, all Horde, all that shit.
This is the game that I spent. I replayed the campaign for this one the most. So it's surprising that I remember jack shit about it. I think this one takes place in the fall. I think. Because I remember there being stages where things were very orange. I particularly remember that one stage where you're above ground and it's at night, and you discover the glowy locusts for the first time, and you have to like sneak around, otherwise the fucking big thing will find you and eat you. And I think there's a big vehicle that you're guiding too, and I can't remember the details, but.
Not sure.
It was great. It's a great game. And if you're going to play any Gears of War game, I think it should be this one. It's easily got the best controls and the most fluid combat. It's still got all of the bullshit, the Gnasher, the wall jumping. And it's got Horde mode. Horde mode is great. And I think the only other game that really did a mode like that before was Call of Duty with zombies. But Horde mode was... so much more fun because you could build up. I mean, I guess you could do the same thing in zombies, but it was Gears of War, man. You could chainsaw people.
Yeah.
And there were 50 levels, and if you got to level 50 of Horde mode, or wave 50, you were a fucking legend, dude.
Yeah, I played this game with everyone, man. Yeah. Played it with everyone.
Yeah, and because it came out, during the end of our high school.
It was before we had jobs, so I had all the time in the world to like re-up, the double ribbons, like if you get 2 kills in a row, I have like 15,000 of those.
That's a lot of
ribbons. I play this game so much, so much.
It was the last Gears of War game that I remember playing religiously. Because after this, it was Judgment, right?
Yeah.
With the Baird game. And then Gears 4 came out with JD.
Yeah.
And then Gears 5 with Kat. And I bought the Ultimate Edition of Gears 4, but I literally never played it. Like, I logged in once. I played the story, I think. And then I realized, oh shit, I have all the DLC. Let me jump in on some maps. Didn't recognize even the old maps. And that was the last time I was really invested in the Gears of War franchise. So I'm hoping D-Day, or E-Day, sorry, is great. I hope it brings Gears of War to a new generation of gamers. So that we can go back to playing online and headshotting 14-year-olds again.
Cut out all the bullshit, man. Do not make the final boss a giant piece of shit you have to fucking kill.
With the Hammer of Dawn.
Like, take it back to Gears 1 days where it was just Rom. It was just the dude on the train.
One guy.
And it was just a good fight.
I don't want to fight a dragon.
Dude, seriously, the final boss in Gears 5 was like one of the worst things ever.
Yeah.
This giant fucking thing, you have to like use this turret to like shoot off its tentacles. Like, it was so stupid. It was so gimmicky.
Yeah.
Just put me on the ground with my fucking sniper and let me kill a really tough tanky boss.
I think that's what Judgment did too, because you fought.
No, Judgment was the Karn on his giant spider fucking thing that jumped around.
Oh, you're right.
And Gears 1 was the only one where it was just the dude. Even Scourge was like a glorified QuickTime event.
Yeah.
So that one didn't even count. Everything else, even this one, the Mira on the giant fucking bee thing.
Yeah.
Flying around. It was just stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, man. We understand that E-Day is just the start. It's a prequel.
Yeah, it's like the day they all came out, and I don't want to see no fucking Corpser and Brumox are as big as they were supposed to come.
Yeah, you're gonna tell me that Marcus and Dom fight a big ass god and then have trouble with Rom in the first one after that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. So yeah, man, Gears of War, we hope you come back strong. Otherwise, we're gonna have very fond memories of your days on the 360.
Good times.
All right, moving on to my number 4 pick.
These were the best of times.
We can just cover up that number 3 with the car, right?
No, it's okay. It's Resident Evil 3, but we're talking about 2.
We're talking about Resident Evil 2.
I don't have Resident Evil 2 on physical anymore, but I have this for some reason.
So I'm gonna really briefly detail my experience with the Resident Evil franchise because we got to talk about 7. I'm pretty sure we
7's on my list.
7's on your list. Resident Evil 4 on the PS2, I got it, I think, because a friend of mine gave it to me. And I never played it for the longest time because I was like, scary game. Don't want to deal with that. Hate horror. I am not that guy. And then I started playing it, and I was like, oh, shit. This feels like all those railgun shooters that you would play in an arcade when you go into shooting mode and you have free reign of the cursor and you can just shoot body parts off of people. And it was fun, man. It was fun blowing heads off of people. It was fun shooting at different like legs and arms, and like the boss battles in Resident Evil 4 were really fun, and the humor was so like the fact that Resident Evil games have humor at all is so funny to me because like it's so stupid. It's so dumb. And so when I heard that they were remaking Resident Evil 2 with the same over-the-shoulder controls as the last games, like the more recent games, I thought this is gonna be pretty fucking rad. And it was on next-gen consoles, and sure enough, it came out. You got the Leon playthrough, and then you got the Claire playthrough. Thank you. And it's just a really fucking tight game. It's a really fucking tight game. The atmosphere, the puzzle solving, it has the same level of like mystery and spookiness that like the first couple of Resident Evils have before they get really big conspiracy theorist. It's a short game too. I think you can beat both campaigns in like
5 hours or something.
Yeah, a day, like if you really want to. So perfect for spooky time, spooky season. Like if you're trying to like marathon a game in October, spooky scary game with effective scares, really tight controls, really great graphics. Yeah, I haven't played the Resident Evil 4 remake, and I was hoping I would before we ended up getting to this point in the list, and I never got around to it. Something tells me it would probably be in this game's place.
Yeah, I think it would swap it out.
Yeah. But right,
like the RE engine is just so good.
Yeah.
Like both 2, 3. People are upset about 3 because there's like cut out shit. Whatever. It still plays great.
yeah.
Yeah. 2, 3, and 4 all just and 7 all play great.
Yeah, man. If you're gonna play a game about shooting undead things, undead people that have things sticking out of their face, like play Resident Evil 2, 3, or 4. The remakes are all great. And then 7 and 8 are also great games.
Yeah.
I feel like Resident Evil has been fucking knocking it out of the park.
Ever since 7, it's just been kicking ass.
Yeah. So, I think the reason why Resident Evil 2 remake is up here is because its replayability is so high. Like, it's so easy to just jump into, like, even if you have to split it up between like 3 days. It's like an easy jump in, jump out game.
Yeah, because every time you play it, you can beat it quicker and quicker because you know the mansion at that point.
Yeah.
And you can just like fly through it.
Yeah, man, and I like that half the game takes place in the there's the police station and then there's the mansion. And it's like, what else do you need? The puzzle solving is interesting. I don't think there was a single puzzle that was really like annoying, except for I think there's was that in the first game?
There's the circuit one where you have to like flick the switches.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. That was dumb as hell.
But yeah, no, it's before Resident Evil 3 and 4 came out, it was as pure a Resident Evil experience that I had ever had up to that point. And again, if I end up playing Resident Evil 4 remake anytime soon, which I hope I do, I'm sure it's going to take the spot on the list. But until then, it's Resident Evil 2, baby. I love Leon. I love Claire. I like all of the cheats that they give you once you beat the game. And they're like, yeah, now you can start the game with a fucking rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Go crazy. It's like, that's the shit that I miss about games is, you know, if it were any other company, I feel like that would be DLC. And it's like, yeah, if you pre-order the game day one, you get to use the rocket launcher from the start of the game. And it's like, nah, man, I want to unlock shit. You know, I want to play a game, play it well, get achievements, like unlock stuff at the end of the game. And that's all I want. And that's all I got to say about Resident Evil 2 Remake. Also Mr. X is really fun to run away from.
Yeah.
And if you shoot his hat off, he just comes at you faster because it pisses him off.
Right.
Yeah, genuinely scary dude. It builds up a level of like anxiety that I haven't had while playing another one of these games. Like being chased. I've heard Dead by Daylight does this thing with Jason Voorhees where when he's chasing you, you can hear the music and it like gives you that feeling that you had as a kid when you're trying to like run away from something and you're just like and you're just like you can scream at any moment. Yeah. Mr. X made me feel like that for the first time playing this game, and the fact that you never know where he is in the mansion or in the police station is really fun.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, last game of the day. Last game. I don't watch PewDiePie. I don't know why I made that reference.
I'm realizing now that all my top 5 games are just games I've played the fuck out of, just like you. Yeah. Just like the time I put into this. And number 4 is going to be Fallout New Vegas. Like, objectively, it's the best game in the series. And if anyone says otherwise, they're just incorrect. Like, let's be real. However, it's not my favorite. And this is the only series that has multiple games on my list. So, yeah, we'll see where it is. But yeah, this shit is incredible. Like, I wasn't there because this was the newest game when I started playing these Fallout games.
What, 2011?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it was somewhere around this time. Probably like 2012 is when I first played Fallout 3, and then I got this one. But yeah, it's just really fucking good. And New Vegas fans, I think you guys know, because New Vegas fans are notorious for being the fucking worst Fallout fans. Because if because according to them, this is the only good one, and everything else just sucks balls, which is really annoying. But like, you're not wrong. Like, obviously, it is the best one, but it doesn't mean it's the only good one. You fucks. It's
I like 4.
It's a really good, like you said, replayability. There's a lot of different ways you can go up with this game. You can go with Caesar's Legion. You can go with House. You can go with Yes Man. You can go with the NCR. Like, there's just so many different outcomes you can do, and like, depending on, like, you can like wipe out entire races. And if you do, like, the ending changes, like, you can get like so many different ways to end the game.
Holy shit!
And that's really cool.
You can commit genocide.
Yeah, you can. There's the boomers, the great cons, all the casino people. You can just straight up wipe them out. Fucking Brotherhood of Steel. Like, depending on which faction you go with, they'll be like, "Hey, you got to take these guys out."
Oh my god!
And then you do, and it's awesome. A bunch of companions.
Is there a dog?
There is a dog, Rex.
Thank God.
That's the one you sent me the TikTok. You asked me, like, is this real? And I said yes. I don't know if you remember what video that was.
I don't remember. I'll pull it up.
I think it was the Kings, because it's like, hey, can you take this cybernetic dog and like get his brain or whatever? It was just describing like the fucking King's quest.
Okay.
And then you sent me it. You're like, yo, is this real? And I said yes, it's very real. It was a while ago.
Yeah, I'm scrolling back here.
And then all the fucking DLCs, like Dead Money fucking sucks dick.
Okay.
But like, it's just a giant pain in the ass. But if you go through it, you get like a bunch of gold at the end, and you become rich. Honest Hearts was all right. I was always in favor of Old World Blues. I like when DLCs take place in other places. Granted, all these DLCs take place in other places, but I really like that one the most. Lonesome Road was also really good. Yeah, it's just a really good storytelling, really good like RPG elements, and yeah, it's just fucking amazing.
I have only experience with one Fallout game, and it is Fallout 4, which I have been told is the best entry point to the series.
It is. It's at least the smoothest one, because the gunplay in 3 New Vegas is kind of shit. Like, you have to use VATS, because otherwise, if you try to free aim, like, it's just awful.
Oof.
But that's not why people play these games.
Oh yeah, I found it. Oh no, that's not this one. This is 2,500 frag mines prank on Dad.
Yes, that's the third one. But yeah, I feel like I don't know who I'm talking to, because everyone who knows this game knows what the hell I'm talking about and knows how it is, and it's great.
You're talking to me, man.
It's great.
You know?
Fucking play it.
I
Play it along with the other fucking 12 million games you got to play.
Yeah, dude. I have so many games. I just bought Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, thinking that I even have time for that. But I have not bought a game in a really long time, and I have not really played games in a really long time. I really quickly, because we have a little bit of time. Oh my god, 55 minutes. This is our longest episode in like months.
Yeah, because we're talking about 6 things.
Yeah, we're talking about a lot of things. I don't know how the clips are gonna get divvied up. We'll figure it out. Yeah. But I got a new job. I'm part-time in it, because this upcoming year is going to mark a lot of changes for me in my life. I'm about to turn 29. We both are. By the time
like 3 fucking days, dude.
By the time this episode airs, and by the time some of these clips come out, we'll both be 29. Which is crazy that this is the last episode that we'll release before we get that much old. Well, okay, I guess. Yeah, as far as release goes, this is the last episode that we'll both be 28 for.
Yeah.
So, I've been thinking a lot about life and time and the way that it passes, and how frustrating it can be sometimes, thinking about how quickly it all goes by. And so I'm trying to do things that I enjoy, and sometimes that means saving money to do those things. So I have a job, and I'm a barista, and I'm making coffee in the morning, and I am playing music on the weekends. So it feels good, man. But it makes me appreciate the free time that I actually have. So maybe instead of playing these shitty battle royales that I've been really focused on and spending hours playing, I can play actual games.
Play games that fucking end. That's
Yeah.
my thing. If it never ends, I'm not playing the fucking game.
Yeah, except for Dokkan. Because when it ends, Zeno is going to blow it up.
Yeah,
And it's going to be glorious.
damn straight.
So, with that being said, make sure you tell the people in your life that you love them. And make sure you do things that you enjoy. Because if we're not living our lives doing things that we like, then what's the fucking point, man? What's the fucking point? Just do what makes you happy. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody else, do what makes you happy. Or if you like doing MMA and the other person likes fighting and getting punched, then I guess that is doing something you like at the expense of someone else's. It hurts someone else. But those are my nuggets of wisdom for episode 48. Do you have any lasting statements? Anything you want to put on the record?
Astrobot was fucking great.
Yeah, good robot shit.
Zelda is kind of annoying, but it's still good.
Okay. New Real Friends record just came out today. Very middle of the road.
Mike Portnoy is back in Dream Theater.
Yeah.
They put out their first single.
There's another
cool.
band. 3 Days Grace has its old original singer, and the new singer is being labeled as co-lead vocalist.
We're working on a 15-minute song.
Yeah, I'm releasing 2 songs as part of a split EP in November. Just uploaded the masters for that. Spoiler alert. Let's see.
And that's it.
Jesus Christ. Guys, cover your goddamn ears, otherwise you're going to get the equivalent of...
I could just see it.
The ear equivalent of pink eye. Fucking turn the podcast off now. Turn it off.